The members of the committee start responding and go ahead to start asking critical questions surrounding the public assets both in Nigeria and in other parts of the country in the world. That is the essence of this one-day retreat.
Very much for what you have brought to forth today, especially by bringing Murphy to come and say a few things here. My first question to Murphy is that over the period of my recent activities in the National Assembly, I discovered that Murphy's investment, that's your shareholding in many companies, were personalized and privatized by members of government. What can you do? Because I'm sure this committee is not going to take it. That I'll take money from Murphy to invest in an organization. I will now put my name in the Corporate Affairs Commission, Ibrahim Isiaka, as a shareholder, whereas the money is from the common patrimony. And there are so many companies like that. Today is not a day of telling the chairman that he needs to investigate or something. We are only trying to seek for. I don't know if I'm communicating.
You said all.
So that's one. Two, something so worrisome is we have Murphy, we have Moppy, we have Ghanaians. I've checked your own profile. In Murphy, we are seeing that we have an estimated asset of 18 trillion. Whereas NNPC alone, at the time of transition, 2-3 years ago, had about 16 trillion in assets, public assets, common patrimony of this country, you and I. EFCC, ICPC, many forfeited assets. In fact, I'm so convinced as I'm speaking here now that if we are to mop all the assets we have in this country that have been disposed, it can conveniently offset our debts, home and abroad. And what the take home today, madam, is about this register of public assets. Consolidated should be put into it. And at the end of the day, I know that the key performance indicator that this committee is going to take away is that at least by the grace of God under the chairman, we're able to establish a public asset that will say to the last sleepers and the value owned by this country and their values. Everybody will be astonished.
And we have also resolved to develop a very comprehensive database and rest for all government assets. That is exactly what we are here for at Sheraton Hotel here in Asokoro, Abuja, Nigeria. Yours truly, Olukotu Ahmed, News Extra.
Prioritize when dealing with the legal framework what assets are most critical to legislate upon, and how do we understand the relationship between these assets and how they impact the economy of this nation. So I would like us to really talk about that. I think that will really help this committee delve into other parts of public assets as opposed to
Adebayo Adepoju, representing the Barapa Central, Barapa North, Federal Constituency of Oyo State. When you made your presentation, there was something that you said that really caught my attention. And that was when you said, we know how much we owe, but we do not know how much we own.
I appreciate the fact that we are doing this because this is the second time in the history of our country.
My name is Dabu Ismail Haruna, member representing the good people of Togo Federal Constituency. I'm from Bauchi State. Madam, thank you for the wonderful presentation. But I want to also assure you that you have not been doing anything in regards to public assets in Nigeria. Maybe simply because the act that established Murphy has some serious defect. I've need to go through it again. The parliament needs to do something serious to come up with laws that will allow you to operate properly, to look into Nigerian assets, both within the country and outside the country. So I want to ask you, what are you actually doing about those assets that are either being encroached by top government officials, some taken over by them, in disguise to go into public-private partnership with some companies in Nigeria? And also, what are people doing about the issue of illegal disposal of public assets by some agencies in Nigeria? Because I can recall there was an ad hoc committee that was set by the House to investigate illegal disposal of public assets. And after that, those agencies, they've also failed to remit those revenue, the revenue generated by after the disposal to the Federation account. So it's all your responsibility to put a stop to all this. But other agencies, as my colleague earlier said, they have tactically taken over your responsibilities.
The story about having developed comprehensive register before our asset is being discussed at national level.
So that it is important for us to have this policy. Let me tell you, Nigeria is being underestimated. Because when you talk about the GDP of the country, it doesn't mean what they have alone in terms of tangible assets. In fact, what we have as assets, when we put all of this in record, on record, when we have a proper asset register, when we have a proper assets, harmonization of the laws, when we have effective legislative practice for moving, then we can then efficiently perform the responsibility that is supposed to do, and this will actually help the country. That lacuna. And I brought it to the attention of the leadership that there is a need for a new law for moving. It has passed the first week, and I'm happy that Murphy representative have assured us of giving the necessary support to make sure that we get this thing done. The moment we have it done, it will harmonize all of those little laws that have been responsible for the mismanagement of water.
The representatives of Secretary to the Government of Federation, however, believes in the committee that they will come out with the best solution to the problem of public assets in Nigeria.
I read the question and answer session. There was an intervention from the floor. It said independence of the management entity and isolation from political interference is very critical to our success in this matter. Then 3, legislation should be regularly reviewed and updated to reflect evolving best practices, technological advancements, and changing needs of society. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, Deputy Chairman, honorable members, governance and accountability mechanisms are essential pillars of effective public asset management. Your committee, and indeed the legislature, can implement these mechanisms through resolutions and bills, resulting in initiatives that will safeguard public assets, enhance their utilization, and build public trust. Ultimately, this will contribute to sustainable development and improved quality of life for our citizens. I thank you very much for listening.